Hey Jaguars, Miss Ham here. I hope that everybody is having a great week and is looking forward to wrapping up learning together this semester in American history. So a couple of things that I want to touch base with you guys about as we're wrapping up this semester is your final assessment. So when you guys go into your weekly lessons, obviously you're going to scroll down here to the bottom and it's going to bring you to the information about your assessment. I've received several questions about this presentation of learning, so I would like to take some time to clarify for you exactly what this presentation of learning is all about. So the presentation of learning, also known as a POL, is going to be something that is probably different from anything that you've ever done before. A presentation of learning is an opportunity for you to showcase your learning as we talk about your individual growth, your academic growth, any challenges that you've experienced this semester, and the learning that you've experienced this semester. So this is just a formal way to really talk about all of the things that you have learned. So instead of telling you have to write me a huge paper, what I'm looking for is how can you support your learning through artifacts and evidence that you have created throughout the semester. So what you guys are going to be doing with this assessment is you guys are going to be designing a presentation and you are going to be using artifacts or evidence from your own work or from this course in a virtual or recorded format. So what this means is, okay, I've really learned that communicating with my professor has been successful or has made me successful in this course. And so what you could do is you could showcase a thread of emails, right? And you're like, hey, like this is what I need to do in order to be successful next time. You could also use, examples of learning from your Unit 1 assessment or a discussion board that you had an aha moment. You're like, wow, I really didn't understand that piece of content. I really didn't understand that that's how America got to be how it was today. You could talk about consistency with learning and use your inquisitive data. So whatever it is that stands out to you, again, about your learning, about your content knowledge, and about challenges that you've experienced throughout the semester, I want you to use artifacts and pieces of evidence to support that. Then what we're going to do, for those of you guys that opt for the feedback option, is that different leaders from our learning community, so from across JCC, as well as your peers, will be able to provide feedback for you as to the next steps of your educational journey. So a little bit about the structure of this presentation. This presentation should be about 7 to 10 minutes in length. Again, you guys can choose to use Screencastify, Screencast-O-Matic, any other free recording is fine with me. The video itself, the framework for you is 7 to 10 minutes. However, just like throughout the entirety of the course, it's all about the quality of your work, not necessarily the quantity. So if you get 5 solid minutes of really, really great reflection, great, you're done. If you get 12 minutes of really, really great reflection, awesome, you're done. Again, what we're looking for, what I'm looking for, is quality reflection about the challenges, your growth, and your learning throughout this semester. In addition, it should also include a variety of examples of learning. Okay, I want you to include at least 3 different types of learning evidence. Again, unit assessments, communication, inquisitive, discussion board post. However you guys want to do that is more than fine with me. And then it also should be a multimedia assessment, which means it would include images, it would include audio, it would include video. So this is definitely something that I want to see multiple examples of how you learned, why you learned, and how this has helped you. Now, when we talk about this reflection, I am going to just kind of highlight for you in this video the 3 main topics. You guys are perfectly capable of reading and breaking these things apart, but I do want to make sure that you guys get these 3 points. Okay. The first thing that I want you to do is I want you to tell me, what do you know? Specifically talking about the driving question. For American History 131, you're looking at how have conflict and compromise impacted the development of cultural, socioeconomic, and political lenses of American history or American society. For 132, we're talking specifically about how have the ideas of freedom developed and how have cultural, socioeconomic, and political aspects helped move those forward. Okay, so I want you to use pieces of evidence, okay, or different artifacts from your learning to support how you have learned this. What does this question mean to you? Why is it important? Okay, number 2, I want you to tell me, what are you going to do with this knowledge? A lot of times as learners, we get knowledge, we sit on it, and we forget it, right? I want you to really think about how your understanding of American history has changed and how this understanding is going to impact your role in the modern world. Okay. And then the last thing I want you to do is make sure that you reflect on your personal journey as a learner throughout this course. The reality of this is that we've done things differently, right? We've tried to do things differently. And so in some ways this is great. And in some ways it's been challenging. So I want to hear from you. What ways have you grown? What ways have you struggled? How have you worked through those struggles? What goals do you have for your next courses or your next semester as you think about where you want to be as a learner moving forward? Now, as far as the time frame for this, I'm going to offer 2 different pathways, essentially. The first one is going to be for those of you guys that are interested in receiving feedback, okay, so specific feedback from faculty and staff at JCC, as well as an opportunity for extra credit. You will want to make sure that you submit your responses to Padlet no later than December 6th. Okay, this is going to allow time for people to provide you feedback, for you guys to communicate through the Padlet, for me to be able to add extra credit into your final course numbers, all of those things. If this is something that you're not interested in, you don't want feedback, you're not really interested in the extra credit, that is more than fine, and you can submit this presentation of learning no later than December 9th, okay? So either one of those options is fine, but please understand that as we continue to try to do things differently to really impact you as a learner, this feedback and extra credit option is significant in the way that we do things differently. Okay, how we're going to be posting things is we are going to be posting them via Padlet. So if you click here on this link, it's going to open up your Padlet. What you're going to see is you're going to see the 4 sections that I am instructing this semester, okay? And I've done this very purposefully because what I want you guys to do is have the opportunity to explore each other's examples of learning. So I would encourage you guys to watch each other's presentations of learning, add comments, add questions, and really interact with one another. You know, everybody has gotten something different out of this course. And so I'm really excited to see kind of how we bring all of those pieces back together. Okay. And so a little bit about the why. So again, you guys know that throughout this course, we've been doing things differently, and really it's all been for you. The way that I believe education should work is that it's all about the student, right? Your learning evidence isn't about me. It's about what works best for you. How do you understand things? How do you process things? How do you articulate your learning? And so the first thing for assessing this way at the end of the semester is for student ownership, responsibility, and engagement. Okay, you are reflecting on your experience, not my experience, not your partner's experience, your experience. Just as an artist wants to represent their portfolio and showcase how they've grown and changed over time, I want you to do this through this course, okay? I want you to really think about what has been meaningful to you, what has been purposeful to you, and then in turn, how has that helped to impact your community? And when I talk about community, I'm talking about your peers, I'm talking about me as your professor, I'm talking about your JCC community, okay? And how have all of those things helped us to continue to move forward together? And then the last thing is equity, making sure that every student in this course has an opportunity to have their voice heard. Again, every individual story is different, and so this presentation will allow you to showcase your learning in the way that fits you best by sharing the things that have impacted you the most. Now, a couple of things that I just want you guys to understand. I want you to make sure that you are using specific work examples as evidence. Okay, so I have learned really that conflict can lead to compromise. Show me examples of things that you have done that are examples of that. I also want you to personalize this presentation of learning. The questions that I've included there for you are just a guide. Those are the things that I want you to think about as you're creating this, but I want you to add your own magic to this presentation. This is about you, this is about your learning, this is about your passions, and so I want you to really think about what does that look like for you. Okay, also I want you to make sure that you are sharing and highlighting key things that are relevant to your goals rather than walking through specific content that you've learned. So I don't want you to tell me all of the events of the American Revolution. That's great, I know those. What I want you to do is I do want you to tell me why has that experience or that framework of learning impacted how you've understood the modern world, how you've understood how we became to be. Okay. And then also please, please, please take time to communicate with your community via Padlet. The best thing that we can do for one another is provide specific, kind, and helpful feedback to help us learn and grow together. So as we wrap up this semester, I do want to really say a genuine thank you to each and every one of you. I know that this season of our lives has brought some unique challenges, as well as some unique opportunities. You know, the way that I have been running this course has been a little bit different than I have in the past, and I really appreciate you guys kind of holding with me, experiencing new ways of learning, and I'm really looking forward to receiving feedback from you guys about what worked and what didn't work, as well as the key takeaways from this course. So I am proud of each of you. I'm thankful for you, and I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation as we move forward with learning together. Thanks again so much, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye.